Round one, I'm sure he's focusing up, ready to go with his deck. He's going to be piloting Regidrago V-Star, one of our topic discussions here at the top of the show, because it is a hot topic. Could it be the year of the Drago? We'll have to see. Let's take a look at these prize cards between our players, as we have Basien Lamotte on the left side here as well.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of an issue there with some of that prizing. The Mochi is going to be important if you want to get some of that additional damage down, but other than that, not terrible. And same for Robin. We see one copy of that Mew EX to draw some additional resources, but all in all, not too bad.
Yep, you see that Charmeleon there. That kind of hints to what Bastien's going to be playing here. That Charizard EX deck. I'm so excited to see this face-off. This is kind of a staple face-off that we've been waiting to see here, Kyle. How does Charizard compete against Regidrago? On paper, how do you think it shakes out, Kyle?
It depends. The style that you build your Charizard EX to be can completely change the style of the matchup. If you have copies of that Dusknoir line, then perhaps you can get some earlier knockouts before your opponent's prepared for that. But if we see Robin take an early knockout, there's always that opportunity for Basien to sneak in some additional damage with that self-poison and that binding Mochi as well. And we saw that in the prize cards this time around, so maybe that first prize card would be a little difficult for Basien.
Well, we're going to kick things off here in our round one at the World Championships on the trading card game table. I'm psyched to get into this as we see the Rotom V starting here on our screen in the active position, as well as that Regidrago V in the active for Robin. We're going to start off with this Earthen Vessel, discarding that Kyurem straight away to get these energy out.
Yeah, look at these Pokemon coming to life here on the main stage as we see that Earthen Vessel. And of course, searching out some of those energies, but most importantly in this deck, the importance of finding the discard pile for these specific attackers. That Kyurem has the ability to deal so much damage at certain points in this matchup. If you can ever chain together two of those attacks, you're basically taking 6 prize cards in a turn.
Yeah, exactly. This is a brand new card that we've added in from Shrouded Fable, as we see here. And it's going to the discard because that Regidrago V-Star is able to copy its move, Tri-Frost, pretty much for its own energy requirements there. So that's already in the discard pile. It is looking threatening here for any sort of evolution deck, and Basien does have those low HP Pokemon to start out, starting with the Rotom V in the active, and is going to have that Buddy Poffin bring in some of those low HP Pokemon out, 70 HP or less being drawn out of the deck now. Yeah,
not nearly as threatening as a turn as it could have been for Robin. We didn't see any of those Teal Mask Ogerpon and the additional draws that come along with that. And for Basien, this is a pretty solid start. Not only do you have the Rotom V to guarantee 3 additional cards at the end of this turn, you have the Buddy Poffin. It looks like there's a Nest Ball as well, and multiple energies. So the hand could certainly play out fairly well here.
Yeah, we need to see the setup here. We need to see the consistency from Basien, and we're seeing that so far. The Buddy Poffin bringing out those 2 Charmander onto the bench now for us, as well as a Nest Ball, going to bring another basic Pokemon out here, and it's the Manaphy!
You think Bastien's read the cards on the other side?
Yeah.
I think there's no surprises when you see that Kyurem in the discard. Absolutely not.
The cards are on the table here, Kyle, that is for sure, and that does help. I mean, the cards do have to go into the discard pile, so it does give you a little bit of a lead up here. I'm going to protect my bench here with the Wave Veil ability on this Manaphy, preventing that damage to the bench Pokemon. Those Charmanders are having a good time on the bench here so far. Energy attachment to the Rotom V in the active position now here for that pivot that we're going to see. Manaphy joining us in the active position now. We're still churning through this turn.
Yeah, Manaphy, of course, solid Pokemon to promote at this point. It's already doing its job, so leave it alone, let it handle this, and Charmanders need to be protected at all costs, along with that Rotom V. There was not much going on in that hand, and certainly now the question is even more as we see the Iono played.
Exactly. We saw that instant charge ending the turn there off that Rotom V for Basien, and then Robin Schulz is just going to mix those cards up. They're going to be put at the bottom of each other's decks, or not each other's decks, their own decks here.
That's
and they're going to draw for each prize card still remaining for each player. So these are new hands for both of our players off of that Iono. Let's see what we can find.
Ooh, there's a lot going on here. This might actually be the Wombo combo. Sure enough, the Earthen Vessel, the Energy Switch, Ultra Ball. If the Teal Mask Ogerpon is involved in this, then certainly you have the Energy Accelerated. I guess the one piece missing now is you don't have that Drago V-Star to go along with it. But you could really just go for it at this point and use your V-Star ability and throw cards left and right if you see an opportunity to take some prize cards early.
Legacy Star, the V-Star ability there on that Drago V-Star once it comes out of the woodwork. Discard 7 cards out of the top of your deck, and then you get to choose 2 to put back into your hand, and they don't have to be from the ones just discarded. It's just in your discard pile at the start. I mean, you can have explosive turns here from the start, or you can use that ability further in the match as well to almost duplicate resources down the line. It really depends on what you're trying to do, how explosive you're trying to be here in the start for Robin Schulz, and we're going to see what happens now that this Ultra Ball is coming down onto the field.
Yeah, this is one piece where maybe that Mew being in the prize cards is difficult. So the ability to refresh your hand and draw some additional resources. It doesn't look like the cards you could select from the discard pile would be that helpful in this situation with all of the discarding that goes on with Ultra Ball, with Earthen Vessel. So at this point, you'd like to be able to add a little more resources to the hand and just not seeing it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not a hugely combo deck, but you do have a lot of resources you have to pull together on these turns coming up in the future. And like you said, Kyle, good point. We still don't have that Ogerpon, which is a huge part of this deck, out on the field yet for Robin Schulz. That's going to accelerate the energy onto the field, draw you more cards for that consistency for your deck. You have energy switches in there to kind of throw energy around to be able to use multiple attackers or tank a Drago V-Star down the line. And at least we're going to see this Drago V-Star, and it's the rainbow one. Love to see it.
Well, now the question is, of course, we see the Canceling Cologne in hand too. This could have been an incredible turn.
Oh, yes.
If we see the ability for that Teal Mask Ogerpon, we need some help.
Oh my gosh, this is the legacy V-Star power that we see here.
I mean, at this point, what was it? Just a Nest Ball would have gotten the job done. Nest Ball plus Earthen Vessel.
Oh my
would have pieced together the Canceling Cologne double knockout onto the Charmanders.
Yeah, the Curum's already in the discard pile. That is secured here, but Robin Schulz, unfortunately, not able to get there. Look at all these cards in the discard pile, but this is truly the vulnerability of using this V-Star power so early in the game. You don't know what you're going to be discarding, and you might not land those resources you need.
That's so brutal.
Still choosing these 2 cards out off of here. You get to choose 2, but then that's it. V-Star power is used for this entire game.
Of course, it's not over yet. We haven't seen much else. We see the supporter now added to the hand, but this is big trouble missing out on that opportunity. Just has a pass of the turn. Yes, next turn, there's a great setup, but there's a problem. Bastion knows how to evolve.
Yes, absolutely, Kyle. And Arvin is one key piece to that here, searching out an item card and a tool card for Bastion, as we see, and that rare candy being eyed up straight away, as well as that 4 Seal Stone. This is how Charizard EX decks work. They are definitely combo decks. They put all of these pieces together to get you into your Charizard EX, accelerate those energies with its ability Infernal Rain, and then we are slamming these Pokemon with a ton of damage coming up.
Yeah, the hand right here, not much going on, but thank goodness for Arvin, as this is going to save everything at this point. The Ultra Ball will line up to find that Charizard EX. The rare candies in hand, and now the 4 Seal Stone as well for one more additional resource that maybe we'll wait to see until next turn. But thankfully, there's something going on here, because there's a lot of Pokemon and a buddy poffins going on in that hand. We don't need basic Pokemon here. We need to start putting on some pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. We do need that pressure here, Kyle. And we'll see what Bastion decides to do with this turn, bringing out the Bidoof here onto the field for that future Bibarel to add that extra support down the line with the Industrious Incisors ability in the future here for Basien.
Yeah, this is an interesting turn now that we see for Basien, as you have two options. You can either stay with a very thin board that doesn't spread out like this, that isn't susceptible as much to the Kyurem, or you can commit all these resources, also apply the pressure of the Charizard, and just say pick one of these options. If you ignore Charizard for too long, you're going to be facing some bad news.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty solid plan here. You want to play into your consistency as much as possible so that you have answers in the late game here, especially because Robin Schulz hasn't had the best turns. This is definitely not as fast as Regidrago decks usually work here, and Basien is able to still accelerate these energies down now that we have that Charizard EX evolving. So we're at least getting all of the pieces really needed here for Basien, and then also establishing that later game setup as well is going to be huge, I think.
Yeah, the difference here is that there's really a one-turn clock for Robin to take advantage on that Manaphy. With the Prime Catcher in hand, with the Professor's research that was found as well, you know that Robin wants to play this entire handout, grab the Manaphy, and then take the knockouts with the Kyurem. So if you wait one turn, maybe he has to throw away all those resources, and then you can take advantage of this. But we're going to see the wide board, and this is now that opportunity for Robin that we've been talking about. Can he capitalize and take multiple knockouts here while also still retaining some semblance of a board?
Yes, that is what we need to see. We're just seeing that burning darkness now. Basien applying that pressure to that Regidrago V-Star, but it's on the bench here now after that Prime Catcher from Robin Schulz. The A-Spec has been used here so far. We're going to see the energy attachment, canceling Cologne as well being used before this Professor's research to draw us into another fresh hand of 7 cards.
Yeah, and you see the strategy here for Robin is targeting down 2 prize Pokemon one at a time, starting with that Rotom V. Just work your way through the Rotom, then likely 2 Charizards to get the job done. Using a lot of resources to get to this point with the double energy switch, but finally, the first Teal Mask Ogerpon ready to roll, and maybe we can see some drawing here, because it's been a tough go.
Yeah, I know. It's actually so sad to see. There's been so much debate online whether Regidrago is super ultra consistent or absolutely inconsistent. Where do you fall on that, Kyle?
I mean, if the light is shined on you, then you're going to have a great day. That's about where it is. It selects which player it wants to do well. And
yes,
Robin maybe needs to take a look again, because if we saw a nest ball there, I would have certainly said it's happening once more. Crown another world champion.
Oh yeah, definitely. It is such a powerful deck, but sometimes things just don't tend to go your way, especially after that Legacy V-Star just absolutely whiffing the resources needed. The Manaphy was so close in the active position, but now it's back onto the bench here. Rotom V, of course, in the active off of that Prime Catcher from Robin Schulz. With that Regidrago V-Star fully loaded up now here. And Robin Schulz still has some more play here. We see that Teal Mask Ogerpon EX that's going to be benched now coming up for Robin Schulz. The grass is already in the hands here as well to draw additional cards. But I think it's just going to make sure to keep track of all these resources already utilized, as well as the Pokemon that are in the discard pile that are able to be used as far as attacks go.
Absolutely, and we see here the Hisuian Gudra V-Star, a solid attack to use in this spot, knocking out the Rotom, but also with that added bit of protection that you have, reducing 80 damage from your opponent on the following turn, potentially going to save Regidrago from some big issues.
Yeah, we saw that. Kapow, the Rotom V goes down with just enough damage there from that Hisuian Gudra's attack being duplicated there on that Regidrago V-Star. And that is 2 prize cards now for Robin Schulz. Heading into this turn from Basien, we see the Ultra Ball starting us off, discarding 2 Pokemon here in that Pidgey, as well as the Charmander.
Yeah, and this is why you play different lines. We see, of course, now the Bibarel is ready to be added into the mix, but also Pheasantipity is there too. If you want to draw even more cards after the Bibarel, certainly could see plenty of options. The issue that comes along with that is benching another 2 prize Pokemon in this spot doesn't sound fun. Doesn't
really sound that fun. I agree with you there, Kyle. But hey, at least we're going to see some extra draw support now that the Bibarel is out onto the field. That little Bidoof evolved. It has a whole stack of sticks now, and it is ready to draw some cards here for Basien. As we see that coin being placed using that Industrious Incisors ability as you see displayed on our screen here. So that is going to draw into some extra cards. Let's see what we get in this hand.
Oh, well, there's a little more help. That stick was pretty good. Counter catcher
nice.
to help out and line up that knockout on the benched, damaged Reggie Drago V-Star. And now the issue. Uh-oh, this hand still isn't great.
No, no, we're lacking consistency here, but hey, I still believe in this Charizard EX. We'll have to see what happens here, but at least we're going to take some prize cards and still continue to keep up the pace, but still slightly behind, especially after kind of how this game started. I'm a bit surprised. We're seeing both players whiff a little bit here.
Yeah, the team yells cheer to help out maybe and add to some of that consistency.
Yeah.
Just a single Arvin at this point, but maybe it finds its way back to the top.
Maybe down the line. Basien going to shuffle up here now as that Charizard EX sits in the active position. We still have that Charmander loaded up with 1 energy on the bench as well. How do you think our players are feeling right now, Kyle? This is our round 1 World Championships. They're in the stream match. Do you think they're a bit nervous?
Honestly, I'm not seeing it. I don't see the shaky hands that go along with it. No major misplays as well. Both players are doing a great job of showing off the power of their decks. It's just been missing draws for the most part. If you can find a little more help off the top of the deck, like maybe this Teal Mask Ogerpon could find, then perhaps there's an ability to take a big knockout. And as we say, that Raging Bolt added into the mix, maybe that's the Pokemon that can get the job done here.
Yeah, we just need a way to discard, and look at that Ultra Ball, the perfect card here to discard both of those Pokemon in the Raging Bolt, as well as that Dragapult going into the discard pile. That's a lot more to work with here for Robin Schulz on this turn. Of course, Basien did go down 2 prize cards after knocking out that Regidrago V-Star, so we are tied up currently in the prize cards. It's on Robin Schulz now to keep up this pace, take some more prize cards for this turn, and put on as much pressure as possible.
Adding those energies to the board, big for this spot, the Teal Mask Ogerpons. If you can chain them together, maybe find 2, 3 of these Pokemon along with the grass energy, keep the ball rolling. It leads into a Bellowing Thunder that can easily take a knockout on this Charizard. The problem is, how many energy can you keep on board? Can you retain a threat after this? And it looks like there's probably a chance there with that energy switch that can be held onto.
Yep, those energy being accelerated onto those Teal Mask Ogerpon EX to draw additional cards as well. All of this energy are out on the field to take a giant knockout here. It's 70 damage for each energy that you discard off of this Bellowing Thunder that's going to be copied by the Regidrago V-Star.
I just don't know if you can do it at this point, though. The prize cards, when you give up this many prizes, you see on the other end, the Burning Darkness just continues to grow. A rare candy Charizard away from Basien, taking a return knockout and just facing off against a couple Teal Mask. I like that, those odds there.
Yeah, exactly. The Teal Mask Ogerpon, such a great supporter Pokemon, but it is only 210 HP, and that is plenty. The Charizard's hitting plenty to knock that out pretty easily.
Look at this!
Is that the energy switch?
Energy switch over to the Teal Mask.
Wow.
This has 2 attackers ready to go.
Yeah, trying to get some sort of recovery here, I guess, from Robin Schultz's side.
Safety first? Do we just go back to Goodra?
Yeah, that might be what we see here from Robin Schulz, kind of looking through the discard pile at these Pokemon that are there.
Don't hurt me.
Yeah, I know, it is a bit scary when you're playing against Regidrago and you see those Pokemon start to hit the discard pile and you know that your time is just ticking when you play against this deck. And I gotta say, I've played a lot of this matchup being the Charizard EX, and I have usually not had a great time at all.
It's really difficult. if you see the Regidrago player continue to draw into all of the right pieces, find the basics to follow suit, we're basically one Regidrago away from the game being sealed. If that Pokemon's on the board, then Robin's in a great spot, but he's going to full send 350 damage for the huge knockout.
There we go. A clean knockout here on that Charizard EX. One shot down from a ton of HP here, being knocked off the field. Down 2 prize cards now for Robin Schulz. Only 2 left to take, but look at the board state. All of this energy to the discard pile. Hits a ton of damage, 70 for each energy, but now we're just left with the Regidrago V-Star in the active. and a nice little grass energy on that Teal Mask Ogre on the bench. I'm excited to see what that recovery looks like when we come back to Robin Schultz's turn. But for now, we're on Bastien's side of the field, the Manaphy being promoted into the active.
Yeah, what a world's difference we could have seen from Robin if maybe the opening attack was with that Kyurem, taking 3 prize cards in that opening turn, then just needing 1 remaining prize card. I'd feel a lot better if Teal Mask needed to just take 1 prize than 2. 2 prize cards here seems pretty difficult.
Yeah, that's going to require quite a bit of energy there. Will we be able to see the retrievals happen? But Buddy Puffin going into the deck here now from Basien. Jamming Tower as well as our stadium here now. I love that little graphic we see where we're at here, Kyle. We're in the Jamming Tower.
Help!
Help! Oh, that is awesome. But Buddy Puffin going to shuffle up the deck here. Nothing being sought out off of the Buddy Puffin, but we get a quick look at the resources, and now we're reshuffling here. That Buddy Puffin going into the discard. Nobody's going to be munching down on it today.
So many questions still need to be answered. Bieberl trying to help out, just 3 cards at a time.
Yeah, and look at that. We see the bench of the Pecharunt EX. This is a brand new card for us as well. Are you surprised to see that bench, Kyle?
It helps at this point. Honestly, you might be running low on energies to retreat, so an opportunity to promote this Pokemon, regardless of the poisoning effect, could be beneficial. Just looking for a little more help here, and Pheasantipity trying to do just that. We saw the Arven in hand, so maybe just that Ultra Ball or even drawing into that Pokemon itself, the Charizard EX, could help here.
Exactly. Pheasantipity going to be able to draw some extra cards here from Basien. We're going to see how our first flip the script goes here, Kyle.
All right.
Flip the script. That is the ability here, drawing 3 additional cards here for Basien into the hand. What do you see?
Charizard!
We see the Charizard coming down here, the EX being drawn off that Pheasantipity. It's going well so far.
All right, let's keep flipping those scripts. We certainly need it here, as the script had Robin lined up as the winner.
Yes.
If it weren't for this combination, Arven to find the rare candy. Energies to go along with this should be in the deck, and Charizard will be the active Pokemon at the end of this turn, taking a big knockout here.
Exactly, that Burning Darkness move on that Charizard EX, that Terra-type Charizard. It's 180 damage base, but then it adds 30 additional damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So as the game continues, your Charizard only gets stronger, angrier, and ready to strike down the line. And Basien is in that key spot here for that damage. It can take huge knockouts. And we're seeing the pieces be put together thanks to that Arven first up for Basien. Just taking a quick look at the resources in the discard pile from Robin Schultz, and then now going into the deck, getting that rare candy out here for Basien.
Yeah, Charizard, he was born in the darkness. He's ready to attack, and sure enough, this is a terrifying sight to go along with the beauty of some of the cards that I've seen. Have you read some of the European cards that we have to feature here? With the Pepper Arven and the Super Bonbon rare candy? I would.
Oh, yes.
What it's like to be a European playing on the main stage. It's unreal.
Yeah, I know. Super Bonbon is probably my favorite
Top tier.
But look at this. We actually see the Charmeleon come into play off of this this Charmander. It's going to hard evolve into the stage 1 Charmeleon, and that is going to be it, passing the turn over to Robin Schultz now.
I wonder if the energies weren't there. At this point, we saw a few to retreat along the course of the opening of the game. If there's any in the prize cards, perhaps. It's just the 6 energies typically in the list.
Wow,
Maybe
well,
not enough to get the job done.
I'll tell you what, superior energy retrieval is going to make sure Robin Schultz is not lacking any energy here. Discarding 2 cards, getting all 4 energy out of the discard pile, and those are going to be re-accelerated straight away off of this teal dance on this Ogerpon EX. We're dancing on the bench here, Kyle. We're drawing some cards, we're throwing some grass energy around, we're having a good time.
There's a lot of reasons to dance right now. One of them is not the Regidrago in the active spot. As a big Pokemon, and you need to find a way to attack with something relevant in this spot. I'm thinking it might be teal time, but is there a boss's orders plus a switch to go along with this to knock out that Charmeleon?
Yeah, we're going to have to see. The Radiant Charizard was being drawn out as well here for Robin Schulz, being benched down now. That late game attacker, single prize Pokemon as well. But we're going to see some more draw here. Grass coming down onto that second Teal Mask Ogerpon. We have a third Teal Mask Ogerpon, and it's going to be accelerated straight away. Let's see what this card is drawn for Robin.
With the energy switch.
Nice. There we go. Fire energy coming down onto this Regidrago V-Star in the active position here now. The energy switch that we just saw drawn here.
Well, these are such vital resources. Of course, holding on to the energy switch can be vital if you want the Teal Mask Ogerpon to take a knockout on a Pokemon like that Charizard and take advantage of that grass weakness.
Yeah.
So it's gonna slow down at this point, past the turnover. Oh, this is getting scary.
I know, we're seeing these passes from both players. It's like we're playing 5D chess here right now between both of them. They have the skill to be doing that though, Kyle. We're gonna see another turn here for Basien after that pass there from Robin Schulz, but the pressure is really mounting here from Robin's side of the field. As you said, the grass weakness from that Ogerpon EX being really scary when you are a dark type, Terra type Pokemon in that Charizard EX. So what do you think Basien does from here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to have the Charizard to attack with. You need to continue to take knockouts. Your board state completely reliant on the Charizard at this point in time.
Yeah.
There's no Radiant Charizard to sneak into the mix. The bench space just isn't available. The problem is, which of these Pokemon is the biggest threat at this point? And do you have the cards to take it down? Boss's orders, yes, but we haven't seen the fire energy yet.
Exactly, yeah, let's see. We're taking a look at the deck right now. There's one single fire left here. Ultra Ball discarding 2 cards to grab that Pidgeot EX. That Pidgey has been lone on the bench here for this entire game. And can we finally see it become a Pidgeot EX?
Potentially, yes, but that goes... Well, yes, we see the rare candy to go along with that now.
Oh yeah, that's why we had the Charmeleon ready to go for the Charizard next turn. Pidgeot EX joining the fields now. Gonna allow Basien to get another resource out of the deck here off of that quick search.
Now the question is there an opportunity for a card like Professor Turo to open up that bench space, include the Radiant Charizard as an attacker? But at this point, you're not attacking into a knockout. You have that Regidrago that you have to work into the 280 hit points.
Yeah, this is getting sticky, Kyle. I am not disappointed by our first match here.
There is Prime Catcher, so there's a world where Bibarel just draws into all the great stuff.
Oh, we're going to see Industrious Incisors here. Let's see what is drawn for Basien.
Super Rod for some help. The Radiant Charizard to go along with it. I suppose the last card missing was the Prime Catcher to take a relevant 2-prize knockout with a 1-prize Pokemon at this stage of the game. But you're asking for so much. Pidgeot can search for one of the pieces, either the Turo or the Prime Catcher.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Trying to piece it together here from Bastien's side, but coming up just a little bit short. Yeah. Looks like eyeing up the Iono at the front of the deck here. Does see that Prime Catcher that's in the deck. It's going to be chosen now for Basien off of that quick search.
Yep, if you use the Prime Catcher, you target down that Teal Mask Ogerpon with the 2 energies on it, and hopefully don't see that again. But Iono seems like the better choice here. You need your opponent to have no energies off the top 3 at this stage of the game. Exactly. If that happens, there is a world where Radiant or Charizard EX just roams free, and it's going to pause for now.
Yeah, there we go. It's just going to be a pass of the turn now over to Robin Schulz. Both of these players taking things nice and slow, making sure they want to secure their potential win here from either side of the field. I got to say, I didn't expect it to be going this long for these 2 decks.
Yep, this is a spot that you don't see too often, where players just pass over the turn back and forth, waiting for that right opportunity, the right cards to be in hand for a combo like that Boss's Orders, along with the switching effect, the energy switch, whatever it may be. We're so close at this point. This might be the turn for Robin now. Multiple energies, triple Ogerpon, along with the final energy switch. If a Boss's Orders is found here, easy knockout on a 2-prize Pokemon.
Exactly.
Here we go.
2 prize cards, all we have left to take on Robin Schulz's side of the field. A lot of energy in the hand here. But do we have it? It was just an earthen vessel now drawn off of that teal mask Ogerpon. We're going to see another draw here. Can we get it?
Luminion!
No. Whoa, there we go.
Luminion,
we got the bench space,
there.
Right?
There's the bench space. Boss's orders should be found here, and there it is. Big find. All the resources lining up perfectly in this opening game. Final energy switch to go. Pick your poison. Either way, you have a game 1 victory here.
Exactly. That Luminion was exactly what Robin Schulz needed. Being benched, using Luminous Sign, getting that boss's orders, having the energy here to discard. Robin Schulz is going to take those last prize cards here.
Wow. Yeah, 28 minutes to get to that point. That is not what you expect when you see two powerhouse decks going at it at the opening round, but there's still an opportunity for a solid game 2 here. Worried about a game 3 potentially, but what a great showing from both these players in our inaugural game here.
Yeah, this is huge here, but Robin Schulz showing that world champion difference, taking down our first game in this set between our players. But we're heading into another one. As you said, Kyle, not much time left on the clock. Both these players are going to have to play efficiently here to be able to take things out. But I mean, honestly, from that first game, we didn't really see Robin Schulz's deck set up as I have seen Reggie Drago V-Star set up. And so I'm wondering if we're going to kind of see the opposite here now, potentially. It just absolutely pop off. I mean, it could have gone so differently depending on what happened after that Legacy V-Star power. And that's truly, that being whiffed, I mean, we missed a huge turn there, but Robin Schulz was still able to bring things out, and that just shows the power of Reggie Drago here in this format.
Yep, Basien needs a lot to go right in those opening turns. Find the Manaphy, find those Charmander, find a way to continue to draw additional resources and lead into that initial Arven. Put the pressure on with that early Charizard, and hopefully your opponent doesn't have the initial answer of a Raging Bolt. And that was the case. Robin did not have any of those answers and wasn't able to take advantage of knocking out a big board state, and maybe there's an opportunity here once more. We'll see what the prize cards have to say about that, as we know how important that can be going into this second game here.
Oh yeah, it's going to be huge. I mean, 1 or 2 key pieces prized for either player could lead to be absolutely detrimental, but I'm excited to see what we have in the prize cards, what these players are going to be missing out of their decks until they start to take these prize cards for us. But it looks like the match is underway here. We're going to get into our second game from our players now, starting a little bit differently this time. The Charmander is the active position here for Basien, kicking off the turn with a Buddy Poffin. These are the prize cards.
Oh yeah, yep, I saw a little bit of that there. The pink is terrifying to witness, that Prime Catcher in the prize cards. That Radiant Charizard as well that we've seen be so important in mixing up some of that prize mapping. But I can't complain here. Opening turn, Buddy, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. You love to see it. The Buddy Poffin, Charmander, the Pidgey coming out. They're hungry here. They're munching down on the Buddy Poffins. We're going to see the Ultra Ball as well, discarding some resources here from Basien. It's going to be one of those Fire Energy. How many Fire Energy do we have? 6, right?
We can take a peek at that. I believe it is 6. It seems to be the typical answer there. And once more, the Ultra Balls to go, the Ultra Ball to go along with this. The Rotom V on that opening turn. That first instant charge is absolutely free, and we take those.
Exactly. Last time it was kind of sent away by an early Iono there, but anytime you can end your turn with 3 additional cards in the hand is going to set you up nice and neat for these future turns. Lots of Pokemon off that instant charge draw there from Basien. Oh wait, that's a Nest Ball? Oh no, we're seeing a Nest Ball.
Nest Ball for Robin.
Yes, this is Nest Ball for Robin Schulz here now, kicking off this turn.
Big piece missing from the last game is just see one of those as having the opportunity to find that resource when you use your V-Star ability. That can lead to a world's difference. Drawing some additional resources with the Mew, that 1 extra energy on board with the Teal Mask Ogerpon, whatever it may be, even the additional Reggie Drago so that you can be reckless with that initial one. It's super helpful.
Well, we saw a quick look at the prize cards there for Robin Schulz's side of the field. 2 key cards that were used at the very end of that game, that Luminion V as well as the Boss's Orders. It was used to search that out. So those are in the prize cards now until Robin Schulz has access to those down the line in this game. But after that Nest Ball to bring out an early teal mask Ogre Pawn, which is essential for this deck to start accelerating pieces. And the Ultra Ball is going to have to discard 2 Pokemon here. That Dragapult, you want to see it in the discard pile so you can utilize its Phantom Dive attack off of Regidrago V-Star. What you're not as happy about is that Regidrago V-Star being in the discard pile. You'd love another attacker maybe going into the discard pile instead.
Yeah, it's a worthy sacrifice to make, but sure enough, you do just that. And you see, Basien thinks about these things. The 6 damage counters that are placed down from that Dragapult, countered by the 70 hit points of the Charmander.
Yeah.
Just have to think about everything when you're building your deck, and the worry of seeing a Pokemon like Dragapult attacking on the second turn. It's pretty viable in a deck like this.
Absolutely it is. We've seen the energy switches there on Robin Schulz's side in this deck. We've seen the acceleration of those grass energy to the teal mask Ogre Pawns that are on the bench. We have a Regidrago V now on the bench as well for Robin, but you're totally right, Kyle. Especially with that Legacy V-Star power, you can have all of those tools to pull off these incredible turns early on, but this time around, it's going to be the Prime Catcher now, bringing up that Rotom V here for Robin Schulz, as well as a Professor's Research, going to get us into 7 additional cards to the hand.
Wow, look at the hand, too. Just a little bit of everything. It's what you want to be cooking with here as a Drago player, and sure enough, it lines up just like that. The Earthen Vessel, an additional S-Ball, the Ultra Ball if you want to discard some additional resources, and we still have a V-Star ability for the following turn. This could be a huge turn for Robin on the next go of it. As we already saw the Prime Catcher, yeah, you can use it a little loosely here. You know you're going to grab it right back next turn.
Exactly. You're going to put that right back into the hand, and that's a huge part of this deck. Being able to recycle those resources is just giant, because all of these cards help you so much in this matchup, as we saw. Fresh 7 off that Professor's Research, and now we are just rolling here. We see that Earthen Vessel discarding a Regidrago V as well. We already have another one on the bench. We're going to get these energy out, and they're going to be accelerated straight away to draw some additional cards here for Robin Schulz, and we might see this giant turn, and this is only our turn 2 here from Robin Schulz. This is how I like to see Regidrago played. Yeah,
we saw the energy switch added to the hand as well. Just one of those resources that has to be involved in the combination to get the 3 energies onto the Regidrago to start things off. So all the pieces are slowly aligning. Yes, this is a quick pass of the turn. Wait to see what your opponent can do. But if they're not there, then surely you have the ability to get pretty violent next turn.
Yep, that is very true here, Kyle. We're going to see that energy switch over to the active position Regidrago V. But over on Bastien's side, we're already seeing that Super Bonbon evolve that Pidgeot EX as well. So these are all pieces that are being pulled together now for Basien. We have that quick search eligible as well for this turn, and that is pretty huge.
Yes, so helpful there to find that Pokemon early on. Just continue to burn through the deck. Looks like Arvin already initially thought of here before even going for the card itself, as the Forest Sealstone and Buddy Poffin are thrown to the top of the deck.
Exactly. Oh no, we have it on board here. Okay. You mean Pepper, right, Kyle?
Yeah, of course.
Pepper being played here.
Now where's the salt? We need the we need the combo here.
Hey, Pepper, salt. We got a nice Buddy Poffin here scooped up for Basien. That's going to be the item card as well as a tool card in that Forest Sealstone being drawn out of the deck. Now that Buddy Poffin being played to establish the bench. We saw this in our last match here from Basien, and we're seeing it again. And I mean, it pays off. Having all these resources toward the end of the game, especially if you're on the back foot, you have all of these cards in your deck where you can really catch up super well and overtake your opponent if they're not able to find that recovery in their own deck. But we're going to see this Forest Sealstone coming down. It's going to give that Rotom V a V-Star power. It didn't have one before, but now it has one. As long as it's a V Pokemon, you can use that Star Alchemy V-Star power to search out an additional card to your hand as well.
Yeah, at this point, what helps out in this spot? You've already seen, looks like plenty of Pokemon added, and thankfully it is that Charizard. We didn't know if we were going to get to that point here, and sure enough, it is there. I was worried that all the Charmander could get wiped out next turn, but applying the pressure, adding this threat is so important. And maybe Robin doesn't get an opportunity to wipe out the bench here. Has to think about that Charizard and get really aggressive early on.
Yeah, this is the bread and butter here of Charizard EX. Everything is being established there for Basien. That Charizard EX being evolved into Infernal Rain being activated to accelerate these energy onto the field. And look at that, the Regidrago V is so close to a knockout here, just 40 HP left remaining there in the active position. Robin Schulz is going to have to recover a bit here. We see a much more established bench than we saw in our previous game. We did see a Regidrago V and V-Star already in the discard pile for Robin Schulz, but we still have one being evolved into for that active position. A little extra HP here. Now we're at only 100 left on that Regidrago, and we have it already loaded up with energy. Just needs one more to be able to attack.
Well, this hand was missing one thing and found it. It's just additional energies to go along with it. The question here is, do you want to take a risk? Do you want to play this energy on the active Pokemon, or do you continue to draw with the Teal Mask Ogerpon, see an additional resource before the inevitable Iono, it looks like here? And why not take a risk? You have the backup of your V-Star ability to go along with this.
Yeah, true. We haven't even activated that V-Star ability yet here. I'm excited to see how Robin Schulz chooses to use it in this game, but we have that heavily damaged Regidrago V-Star ready to attack. We are going to see the Mew this time coming out.
Yeah, Mew, thankfully there in the hand to go along with this. A solid strategy where you could potentially see your opponent, or you could take the hand with the Ultra Ball, drop it down to 0, grab another Regidrago V-Star, and play that down, draw 3 additional resources after you use that Legacy Star. You could have a really solid hand to go along with that.
Yeah, we got some nice supporter Pokemon here on this side of the field. Mew can also be used as an attacker as well, somewhere down the line in some decks, but Iono is going to be used here now from Robin Schulz. Both these players, their hands are going to go to the bottom of their decks. They're going to draw 6 cards each for as many prize cards as they have remaining.
A little safer here, and I think we can all agree that's probably a good call. Already up a game and looking for a few more resources, those energies especially, and it looks like the grass energy found along with that earthen vessel should be pretty helpful.
Yeah, that's what you like to see here. All these energy being loaded up from Robin Schulz's side of the field here. Tons of cards off of that Iono that we're drawn into. Are we going to see this Legacy V-Star power? Debating it. Is he going to flip that V-Star token? You can only use 1 V-Star per game. We're going to see it. 7 cards here being discarded from Robin Schulz.
Oh,
wow, lots of...
A few attackers to go along with this, but we did see some resources like that Ultra Ball. I believe there's already one there, but the Prime Catcher is a card we always think about adding back into the mix. Now the question is, do you already have access to a way to reach that knockout with the Raging Bolt? If not, then have to search out that Pokemon, combine that with the Earthen Vessel to get it into the discard pile.
Yeah, that's where you have to start to put your pieces together here. Robin Schulz is able to recycle some of these resources now, drawing 2 cards back out of the discard pile after that V-Star power being utilized. But exactly what you said, Kyle, where do we go from here? Which attacker do we utilize here? And which other additional card, along with that Prime Catcher, do we draw out? Looks like it's going to be the Superior Energy Retrieval.
I'm not sure if we officially have the count on it, but I think that all of the Regidrago V-Stars have been seen. As we had 1 early discard, the 2nd discarded there off the Legacy, and 1 the active. It leads to some issues when you start to get try to chain together some attacks later on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Kyle. It could lead to some issues down the line here for Robin Schulz, because you need a lot of these recovery cards to get these Pokemon back and get some attackers flying around here. But all these Regidrago V-Star are gone, besides this one that's in the active here. Prime Catcher going to be used. That Rotom V brought up into the active. Of course, that Mew has that free retreat, so that Regidrago V-Star is able to just re-promote into the active position here from Robin Schulz.
Oh, a lot to think about here.
Jamming Tower going to come into play as our stadium here. Those tools already been utilized there from Basien, but that Rotom V, just like our last game, is going to go down nice and early here from that attack off the Phantom Dive being used off that Dragapult EX. We're going to see these damage counters come down as well from Robin Schulz. 6 damage counters.
Robin says, evolve these Pokemon as soon as you can. And pew, pew, pew. You see all that added to the bench there.
Wow.
It's a tricky spot. Of course, 30 damage added to the Pidgeot. Thinking about that Radiant Charizard as a Pokemon that you can work into the mix while you're trying to find a way to potentially recover on some of these Regidrago that have already fallen. I mean, what do you attack with at this point other than the Radiant Charizard?
Yeah, that is tough. Oh, the first time we're going to see it here, that Mochi coming out, that Binding Mochi being played down onto the fields. We don't see any poison just yet, but that is the tool card being put onto Charizard EX here for some additional damage if it is poisoned. We already saw the Pecharunt come down in the last game that adds that poison to the Charizard EX. We'll see if that comes into play here from Basien, but not just yet because tool cards are currently shut down from that jamming tower.
Yeah, it looks pretty, but it's not doing anything just yet.
Not
here.
yet, yeah.
Gosh, there's so much to think about on Bastien's side. Your opponent, you have so much information by way of the discard pile at this point. If they don't have a way to get some of these Pokemon back, whatever it may be, a Super Rod or what have you, you're in a difficult spot where you can see the attackers lined up, but you don't really want to use Radiant Charizard.
Yeah, exactly. Feels bad. Ultra Ball being used here to discard a jamming tower of his own here for Basien, as well as that Pecharunt going to the discard pile. Ultra Ball searching out a Pokemon here for Basien. Looks like it's just going to be a shuffle up to thin down this hand.
It's tricky to think about with already so much damage on board. You can knock out that Regidrago, but you're scared of the grass Pokemon here, so rightfully so.
Yeah.
As going to identify that and take out a Teal Mask Ogerpon. Those energies, they stack up, and they take out Charizards pretty quick.
It gets dangerous out there, Kyle. It gets dangerous. The counter catcher, as long as you're behind in prize cards, you can promote one of your opponent's Pokemon into the active position. Like you said, Teal Mask Ogerpon with that grass typing, and those energies adding up can be very dangerous here. So that's going to be in the active position now. We're going to see a Super Rod as well, bringing back that Pecharunt into the deck, as well as a couple of energy cards for Basien. Quick Search has already been used for this turn here for Basien. Industrious Incisors already utilized. All the abilities being drawn out for Basien so far here in this turn. We're going to see that retreat now into the Charizard EX. That Teal Mask Ogerpon going down. That is a knockout here on our field. And Bastien's going to go down 2 prize cards in that Radiant Charizard, as well as the Fire Energy being added into the hand. That's going to spice things up for this matchup. Our players are tied now. 2 prize cards taken on both sides. Robin Schulz promotes that Mew EX that has that free retreat. You can change out to whatever you want in this turn. Let's see what happens here for Robin Schulz. What cards are going to be played here?
Yeah, honestly, the biggest prize cards right there. To find that Radiant Charizard, an additional single prize Pokemon to work into the mix, stay in the race here. It's going to be so big for Basien, but there's 4 minutes remaining. Robin Schulz thinking about every potential opportunity here to close out this game. See as many cards as you can, of course. You have that
Flip the script
to help out, and I mean, does the script need to be flipped here? I mean, you're looking pretty good.
Maybe don't flip it.
Yeah, let's flip it twice. So it's back on top.
Yeah, you want to flip it in your direction, that's for sure. But 3 additional cards either way there from that Pheasantipity after that knockout from Robin Schulz's side of the field. It's getting intense here. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. Superior Energy Retrieval being the card played. That Curum's finally going to hit the discard pile now, as well as a Nest Ball.
That single damage counter as well onto the Bibarel. You have to think about that too.
That's true.
It adds up just so nicely there for that Kyurem if it potentially wants to take a triple knockout this go around.
Yeah, it's called Tri-Frost for a reason in that Kyurem for sure. 110 damage to 3 of your opponent's Pokemon, and that is dangerous when you have all of these low HP Pokemon that have already been damaged from previous turns. So Robin Schulz gonna put down that Radiant Charizard onto the field as well. We've already seen several abilities being used for the turn. Now are we just gonna lead into this Iono here for both of our players? It's gonna be a tie as far as the cards being drawn for each for these players after their hands go to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, so much information that Robin has when using this card. Sees, what, 8 cards that aren't boss's orders at this point. There's obviously the opportunity to draw into one of those that is in the prize cards, along with a Luminion. You think of all the resources that could potentially get you over that threshold to take that final prize card on the next turn, and doesn't see it just yet, but there is hope on the horizon.
There is hope. Hey, when you're playing this deck, there's always hope there. Unless you just discard everything you need off Legacy V-Star.
Don't say that.
Well, the Teal Mask Ogerpon is going to be promoted after that free retreat on that Mew EX.
Once more, there's that opportunity there to wipe out a lot of resources, but take out the threat. Force your opponent to establish another threat once more. Has been the plan for Robin all the way through. And sure, if the Regidrago's not targeted next turn, you have that opportunity to clean up if all these Pokemon aren't evolved.
Woo! Well, it is getting down to the wire here now. Kyle, that was huge here from Robin Schulz. 2 prize cards left to take in this game with only just over a minute left here. Bastien's going to have to decide what to do after that giant Charizard EX being knocked out by that Teal Mask Ogerpon EX with that grass weakness on that Terra-type Pokemon. And I mean, it's Myriad Leaf Shower is a huge move here. It's not just a support Pokemon with that Teal Dance. That's 30 damage for each energy that's attacked to not only your active Pokemon, but your opponents as well.
Yeah, it starts to add up, especially in this matchup. That grass weakness can be terrifying, and it is one of the bigger threats that you have to work around. As you're focused solely on that Regidrago in so many other matchups, but sure enough, here it does work.
It works indeed. Well, we have that Pidgeot EX in the active position, a little bit damaged here. Ultra Ball being played. This is the second time we're seeing. That's the Petron, right? Or is that Pheasantipity?
One of the two.
Yeah, well, they look very similar.
It is tricky to tell.
Ultra Ball going to get out that Charizard EX now. Coming back to the field here if we have that rare candy, but it's going to be the Charmeleon as well coming out for Basien. I mean, we saw this there from last turn for Basien, so we have both options, but that Super Bonbon evolving that Charizard EX on the bench here now. A little HP. Charmander is now a full-blown, very angry Charizard EX. Infernal Rain being utilized, that ability for the turn. It looks like our judges have just alerted our players that time has been called. That means there's going to be 3 additional turns in this match.
You see that signified under or over top of the time counter there, as we know that we are now on the unofficial turn 0. As we move forward in this game, Robin becomes turn 1, and of course, with 2 prize cards left, he'd like to end it right there.
Yeah, we see the Kapow there knocking out that Pokemon. Down to 2 prize cards here for Basien, getting the Prime Catcher and a Nest Ball from the prize cards. And Robin Schulz is over here with the Mew EX in the active position. Plenty of cards to be played. Earthen Vessel is going to start us off here, discarding that Professor's Research. And we're going to search out some energy cards from the deck. 2 basic energy.
Yeah, at this point, maybe just the 1 as a way to place that energy anywhere, as it doesn't matter anymore. You don't have any Teal Mask to continue to accelerate. They've all been your main attacker somehow.
Somehow.
Now they're gone. At this point, Robin says, I don't even need this energy. It's probably going to be that Mew drawing as many cards as possible to help out in this situation.
Yeah, that restart ability is nice and tidy here for Robin Schulz. Being able to discard these cards with that Earthen Vessel, discarding the Professor's Research to get your hand size down just enough so you can draw up with the restart until you have 3 cards in your hand. That energy being placed to the Radiant Charizard. 3 cards here for Robin Schulz. What do we see?
Boss's Orders is found. Wow. Off the 3 cards, Radiant Charizard lined up perfectly for that knockout. 250 damage is going to be it. And Robin Schulz is taking a round 1 victory here at the World Championships.
Hey, that is Just an incredible way to line up this round one here at Worlds. Robin Schulz, a former world champion, taking things down with a clean 2-0 and putting Reggie Drago V-Star officially on the map here at Worlds.
What a way to get the job done. Nice and simple. We saw a few of those different attacks that could be copied, but
yeah,
no Shrouded Fable shenanigans that went on this time around. I was really looking forward to Akira once or twice, but no dice.
We were very close to that, Kyle. Very, very close. But hey, maybe we'll see it. We have an action-packed filled weekend, but I am excited that we're now done with our round one. Can you believe it, Kyle?
Yeah.
Robin Schulz taking down this first win in our round one. I'm sure he's feeling good heading into the rest of this tournament with a win under his belt.
Yeah, this is my new Aqua Storm. I will be forever chasing this.